Today we're going to look at skills that you need to know in Google Slides in order to do your westward expansion mapping assignment. So when you open your assignment, it will look like this. This will be the only slide that you will have. If you notice on the left, you have a note clipboard, and it will have all of the instructions that you need to know to do the assignment. If you notice, it is kind of small and a little difficult to read. So what will help a little bit is if you make your browser as big as possible. You might even go down here and click the 50%. Mine's already at 52 on the fitted screen, so it's not going to make any difference. The first thing that I'm going to do is put a title in. But what I'm going to do is use a different map. I'm going to use an example map so that I'm not doing your assignment for you. So I'm going to do a map over barbarian kingdoms. So I'm going to go over here, and while I'm working on this, I think I'm going to zoom it in so that it'll be a little bit bigger. And up here I'm going to put my title, Barbarian Kingdoms of the Middle Ages. And I want my title to go all on one line. So I'm just going to expand the text box. If I wanted to, I could highlight all of this and then change the font, decrease it up here. But that looks fine to me. Okay. The next thing that I need to do is I need to place the geographic features onto the map. So what I've done this time is I've already drawn the pieces out for you, and that way all you have to do is drag them onto the map. In the future, you will make your own shapes. So one of the things that I need to find is the Danube River. What I need to do is open another tab, and I'm going to search European geographical map or geography map. This will work. So I'm going to click on one that I think is going to help. This looks like it's good. Not that one. Here we go. All right, so I know the Alps is one of the things that I need to put on there, and look, the Alps are right here. So I'm going to note that it's right above Italy. So if you know that this is Italy, or just remember what this shape of the map looks like, and then our mountains are going to be up here. So I'm going to go back to my map. There's Italy, the little boot. So my mountains are going to go right up here. For this assignment, your mountains are going to be these little brown triangles, and there's actually more than one triangle underneath. So I'm going to drag one, drag another, till I make my little mountain range. She looks beautiful. Okay, so you don't have to use all of the little mountain icons. Just use however many you need to get the point across, okay? So these are my Alps. So I'm going to go and drag my little label over here, Alps. If you want to get adventuresome and make your label smaller, that's cool. So I'll make that little guy smaller, and so now we have our Alps labeled. Okay. Next thing, we're going to put in our river. We need the Danube River. So let's go back to our map that we were using. And we can see the Danube's right here, but it's kind of unclear of where it is all going. So I think I'm going to go back up here and type in Danube River. And I'm going to click on images. And this map looks good. It makes a really clear line of where the river is. Then we'll find it on this page. And there we go. So now we can clearly see this red line is the river. In this mapping example and the one that you were going to do, I've already actually drawn the river for you. All you have to do is place it on the map where it's supposed to go and expand it. So I know that the river is going to start right about here. Then I'm going to stretch it out because I know that it goes across over to here. And I know that it goes around the Alps. Because I made it bigger, it moved from where I originally started it. So I originally started the river right here, but because I made it bigger, it went up here. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to move that box to put it back where I had it. Okay. Now I want this river to be behind that label that says Alps. So I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to push, if you are on a PC, you will push Control down. If you are on a Mac, you can push Control or Command down. That's for a Mac. Okay. And there we go. So just keep pushing it until it goes behind the sign. If you're not comfortable using Command down or Control down, you can always click on the object and then right click, choose order, and then send backward. If you do send back, it'll send it behind everything. Okay, so just do send backward. If you do it this way, you'll have to keep right clicking and choosing order until it goes behind. So it's easier if you do either command down or control down. All right, so we got our river drawn in there, and now we need to put our label with it. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to label the Atlantic Ocean. We should all know where that is by now. We've been doing mapping since we were, I don't know what, first grade, second grade, something like that. We know that the Atlantic Ocean is all over here, but we're just going to use this little blue blob for right now to represent the ocean. Okay, and so then we can come over here and grab our label and put it over there. Okay, if you want to get fancy, you can click on Atlantic Ocean, and with this little circle at the top, you can click on that and then drag your label and it will turn it sideways. So if you want to do that, that's fine. If you saw me a minute ago, when I reshaped this blue part, all I did, we'll do it on this one down here, I just clicked on it and then I grabbed a corner and I just pulled it. If you want to make it longer, you can grab it on the side and pull it that way. If you want to make it taller, you can grab it on the top in the middle and pull it up like that. But we don't need that right now. Okay, so I'm not going to do the Mediterranean Sea or the Black Sea. I just gave you an example of how to do it. The next thing, we need to label Rome, which is a city. in your map, you have to label Mexico and Canada. So if we go back and look at your maps, down here you have a Mexico flag and a Canadian flag. You'll just put those flags where they need to go on the map, okay? And then you can put their label next to it. But for the purposes of this one, I'm just using a little dot, okay? So let's go back to our trusty little map up here, and let's see if we can find Rome. And I know that it is in Italy. Now, when you're searching for a city, um, you have to keep in mind the time period that you are looking at, okay? Especially like if you're labeling countries and stuff like that, because borders change throughout history. So whenever you are looking at something, make sure it is the correct time period that you're wanting to look at. Rome has pretty much been in the same spot. So it's going to be right here. So let's go back to our map, grab our little dot, and put it approximately where Rome is. Yay, pretty little red dot or circle. And then we can move our little Rome label over here. And as I said before, if you want to make it smaller to where it fits better, you can do that. You might have to change the font of your word so it fits. Nevertheless, there we go. Okay, so you should know how to do your labels now. On your map, you have to do the Mississippi River, and I've already drawn it as well, but you will have to expand it out and kind of get it placed correctly. Okay, you might have to play around with it for a little bit. The next thing in your map, you have to locate the northern and southern states, but on my map, I'm going to locate where these different kingdoms were. So what you're going to do, in your map, you can use the square, circle, whatever makes you happy. We are just going to get the general area. It doesn't have to be precise, but it should be as close as possible. So I need to know where I need a map of barbarian kingdoms of the Middle Ages. So I had already looked this up, so it popped up right here. I'm going to click images again and find a map that I think that I want to use. So I like this map. This gives me a good idea of where the kingdoms are that I need to know. So if you look over here in this key, it matches the key that I have over here. So these are all the kingdoms we're looking for. So let's look for the Anglos and Saxons. If we look at that, we see Anglos and Saxons are the purple, and they're going to be up here on England. Okay, so I want to find where the Anglo-Saxons are. We saw on the map that it was in England. England is right here, so I'm going to get a shape and I'm going to place it on my map right here in the area of England. So we'll just make this little square shape thing. I don't want mine to be this gray. I want it to be that a little lavender purpley color. So I'm going to go up to this paint bucket and I'm going to choose this really light purple. If you click off of it, you can see that there's lines around the shape, giving it a border. You can leave those lines if you want, but I don't think I want them on mine, so I'm going to click on this little pencil next to the bucket, and I'm going to put transparent. So this little pencil is what makes your border color, okay? So this is going to be my Anglo-Saxons. Then what I need to do is, let's do this. Click on your shape again, and you are going to, you can either right click and choose copy, or you can do on a Mac Command C, or on a PC you can do Control C. That will also copy the image. And then you can either do Command V to paste. When you're done getting your copy, you can move it over wherever you want, make it a little smaller, and this time I want a border on it. So I'm going to click the little border pencil again, and I want it to be black. Then what I'm going to do is bring it over to my key and put it right next to Anglos and Saxons. Voila! Now we know that on my map, the purple color equals the Anglo-Saxons area. Okay, the next group I'm going to look for is the Franks. So I'm going to go back over here to my map, and the Franks are green and they are right here. So they're kind of at an angle to the Anglo-Saxons. For this one, I think I'm going to use a circle. So I'm going to use a circle. Here we have the Anglos and Saxons, and the Franks were just across from them. So I'm going to put my circle right here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to keep with the same color scheme that my map on the internet has, but you don't have to. You can do whatever you want as long as your shape and your key match. So I'm going to do green. And this time I think I'm going to keep the border on the circle. But we have a problem. We can't see our Alps label or the ending of our Danube River because our shape is in the way. So what we're going to do again is Command down if you're on a Mac, Control down if you're on a PC, and we're just going to keep pushing that. You can keep your finger on the Control or Command and just keep hitting the down button until everything that's underneath your shape pops up to the front. Okay? So in my key, I like to keep my key uniform. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and then I am going to copy this and paste so that now my blocks are uniform. And in fact, I will just go ahead and do the rest of them. When you're doing this to get them lined up, you see how that red line goes through all of them? That means that they're all evenly lined up. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these here, but I know that I need to change the colors. So our Franks, they need to be the green color. So I'm going to go back here. That was the border. If you mess up on something, if you go over here, let me click off that. If you go over here to this back arrow, it is undo, or you can do Control or Command Z. All right, here we go. So to change the color of the square, I need to do fill color. Click my green, and there we go. So now green for Franks, and so we know that this area is Franks. Okay, and let's do one more. We will do the Visigoths. Grab a shape, And then we know that the Visigoths take up this whole large area over here. I don't really want my shape at that angle, so I'm going to turn it to where it's at an angle. And then I'm going to make it a little bit skinnier here. And I'm going to change the color to, we already have light purple and green, a muted color of red. There we go. So then I need to come over here to my Visigoths and change that color to reflect. Okay. So then obviously as of right now, the Ostrogoths and Vandals should be white or clear because we have not placed them on the map yet. So that should give you all the tools that you need in order to finish the mapping portion of your assignment. Happy mapping!